Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with 16 piano concertos I couldn't live without. I know it's hard to limit it to just 16. I mean, remember, we started with operas, and we only had 12. And from the gnashing of teeth and wailing and rending of garments I'm hearing from some of you, well, I know. You have to make choices. That's part of the fun. That's what's going to give us a nice variety, I think, of things. The things that get repeated are going to be really very popular and major works that lots of people like, and the things that are more interesting are going to be carefully selected to enrich the general repertory. I think this whole series has been doing that. It's been just marvelous. And I want to thank all of you again for your participation. There's only one thing I want to mention, which is this list is my list. These are just personal favorites. So I don't understand why people think, well, I agree with the list. I don't agree with the list, or I would replace this thing with that. That's not the point. It's my list. I mean, I'm not interested in what you think about my list. It's my list. I'm interested in your list. I want to hear your list. If you don't like my list, do your own list and post it. That's the idea here, really. I mean, it's not like, well, you know, someone's list is better than someone else's list. They're just everybody's favorites, 16 of them. And you can do it. I know you can do it, or up to 16 of them. Let's put it that way. You don't have to do more. You can do just 2 or 3 if that's all you like or all you know. It doesn't matter. Just make sure it's your choice and not, you know, some sort of critique of someone else's choice. It's not what we're doing in this particular series. So, shall we go at it? I think we should. First, CPE Bach, Keyboard Concerto in D minor, WQ 23. It's his 23rd keyboard concerto. It often comes coupled with the Bach Keyboard Concerto, BWV 1052, also in D minor, which is not on this list, you will note. That can be on your list again. But oh my gosh, this is so much fun. It's got all the things we love about CPE Bach. You know, the disruptive phrasing and the incredibly sudden and spontaneous emotional range from like happy to sad, from loud to soft, from, oh, it's cool. It's just an amazing, amazing concerto. Give it a listen. Trust me. There's a wonderful one on Hensler with, what's his name, Michael Risha, whatever his name is doing it. Oh, it's great. Next, Mozart, Piano Concerto number 17. I'm just a sucker for that one. It's so beautiful. The woodwind parts just burble and chuckle, and you know, it's dun da da dum bum ba ya da dum bum ba da, and the winds go doo 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 doo. It's beyond charming and mellifluous, and the last movement is a delightful theme and variations on a fabulous tune. Do 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 do. Woodwinds. Do 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 do. Oh God, I love it. Great, absolutely great. I could listen to it a billion times a minute, and never get tired of it. Then there's Beethoven. Of course, you know, you got to have a Beethoven. At least I got to have a Beethoven, and it's the 4th. It used to be the Emperor. It's not anymore. It's the 4th, which is his most Mozartian piano concertos. But I didn't really appreciate the 4th until I really appreciated Mozart. And Mozart's piano concertos, you know, since we're talking about these two things kind of together, it's if you grow up on like romantic piano concertos like Liszt and Tchaikovsky's first, where they're banging and crashing and the virtuosity is flying, Mozart can be a little difficult to get into because the technique is so different, and the technical demands are so different. And so you need to live with Mozart and understand and enjoy the kind of things he's doing, the dialogue between solo and orchestra, and that kind of formal elegance and the relationship between the soloist and the large ensemble and all of that stuff. And that's what Beethoven's 4th does. It gets it. It gets that exactly, and does it in Beethoven's own style, in his own fashion, which is simply amazing. And of course, that central movement, which is a dialogue between piano and strings, with the strings being violent and the piano being very poetic and soft and calming until the end, when they reverse roles, more or less. It's one of the most extraordinary things in all of music, and it only takes like 6 minutes. So it's like, yeah, amazing. Next, The Grieg Piano Concerto. Oh, I adore that piece. The tunes are fantastic. I mean, it really is just it's so much the epitome of the romantic nationalist piano concerto. It's so lovely. And I remember, I remember seeing it played in the talent competition of the Miss America contest. You know, the entire concerto in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, with a competent girl in a swimsuit, sort of sitting at a piano, banging away at it, and it still worked. It's indestructible. It's absolutely indestructible. It's just phenomenal. Tchaikovsky, Piano Concerto Number 1. Of course, just because of the tunes. Oh God, those tunes. I mean, what are you gonna do? If you can't love that concerto because of those amazing tunes, then there is no help for you, none whatsoever. I mean, it's wow, amazing, beautiful, beautiful work, and just fun to listen to, and it's got everything going for it. It doesn't seem to get much respect these days, I don't think. People would rather play Rachmaninoff because it's more symphonically integrated. You'll know that there are no Rachmaninoff concerti on this list. Fine as they are. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they're not on my piano concertos I couldn't live without. But Tchaikovsky, absolutely. Absolutely. Just the opening alone. I mean, come on. Saint-Saëns, the Piano Concerto Number 5, the Egyptian. I know a lot of people might prefer the second or even the fourth. I just think the Egyptian concerto is more fun than anyone has any right to have. It has, how can you describe it? It has a purity, an innocence, a joy in the beauty of gorgeously written consonant harmonies. That, Saint-Saëns wrote it was like in the 1920s or something. I mean, it's a very, very late work. And the exoticism in the middle movement is done with such taste and such beautiful finish and polish. Then there's the finale, which is just exciting as hell. It's incredible. It's a toccata basically, and it's just genius with fabulous tunes. Yeah, da 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 ba ba bum bum ba da 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 da. I mean, it's so lovable. Every bit of it is lovable. It has no dead spots either. What can I say? Saint-Saëns said it. He said anybody who can't appreciate the beauty of simple chords, perfect only in their arrangement and their relationship to one another, really doesn't understand anything about music. He said something like that. And if he didn't, he should have, because he was right. And that's what this concerto has going for it. It's that simple, limpid, pellucid beauty in every single bar. And it's thrilling to play. Oh, gosh. Prokofiev, Piano Concerto Number 2. Again, we start with Prokofiev piano concertos. We all listen to the third. Then maybe we do the first. Then maybe we do the fifth because Richter recorded it, not because anybody particularly likes it. I love it, by the way. But, this is how you encounter it. And then all of a sudden, about 2 or 3 decades ago, people started playing the second, which is the largest of them all and the most virtuosic, and I think the most intensely Prokofievian. It's just a barn burner of a concerto. I mean, it's incredibly virtuosic. It has no real slow movement. The only real slow parts are in the middle of the finale. There's a big, long, beautiful slow episode, and a couple bits of the opening movement, which is an andante. But otherwise, it's all just pedal to the metal. I mean, and it's steely, and it's mechanistic, and it's lyrical, and I can't get enough of it. And everyone's doing it now. I'm very happy. I really am. It was on my list of works that sort of have been discovered since the turn of the century. And all these people realize this amazing concerto has been neglected all these years because everybody played the third. Even Prokofiev did the third. But this one, that cadenza in the first movement. Wow, baby. It's something else. Poulenc Piano Concerto. Anything by Poulenc, it just slays me. It really does, because Poulenc is one of those composers, he's always underrated because most of his music is lighthearted, but it's so well written. And in the middle of all the jocularity, there are moments of incredible, touching emotion and deeply felt sentiment, but you never know when they're coming. And the music has the ability, because he writes in 2-bar phrases, basically, of switching from, Parisian street music to Mozart to something tragic to liturgical music, all within a couple bars. And it all flows, and it's all held together, and it all works. But the tunes in this concerto, too, holy cow. I mean, it's got some of the most beautiful melodies you've ever heard, including Way Down Upon the Swanee River in the finale. It's short. It has no particularly effective form. Poulenc didn't really care about form. Usually his forms are very simple. ABA is about as complicated as he usually gets. And it works. It works perfectly well. And people who deride it are incapable of understanding the value of melody and really affecting use of harmony. It's something else. Ravel. Oh, we have to do a Ravel, don't we? The Concerto for the Left Hand. Not the G major, which is the more popular of the two. But I think the Left Hand Concerto is vastly more interesting, comparatively speaking, only because, first of all, because of the concept, because of the virtuosity, because of the difficulty and the genius in filling up the keyboard texture with just one hand, and not even the one that usually works best unless you're Rachmaninoff. But, that's incredible. And it's fabulously well structured, full of tremendously compelling musical ideas. And of course, the orchestration is second to none. The first time I heard it, it just blew me away. I couldn't believe anybody could write a single movement concerto, 18 minutes long, without anything that was so incredibly well put together, so compelling, and that was such a virtuoso tour de force, but that you're never conscious of that while it's happening. It's music of a certain, well, it has a certain sinister quality to it. It's dark and gnarly at the beginning, and you have that mean little march at the beginning, in the central section. And so there's also an emotional undercurrent of darkness and eeriness, and the piano part is constantly striving to do something noble and beautiful, and the orchestra is always dragging it down. Oh, wow. I mean, it has both the emotion and the form, and all of which is cast in terms of a piece of absolutely transcendent virtuosity that never sounds like a stunt. It just sounds like it's doing its emotional thing. What a great work. Wow, baby. The John Ireland Piano Concerto. This is Prokofiev Goes to London. I do not understand why this concerto isn't better known and isn't played more frequently. First of all, it's rather easy to do. The piano part is challenging, but the orchestral parts are pretty straightforward. I mean, I did it. I had my community orchestra play it. We found a pianist who was willing to learn it. Oh, wasn't that sweet? I got to play the wood block in the finale, which was exciting. And it's a jazz-inflected, English-sounding, Russian Prokofiev-ish kind of thing. It's really, really fun. And again, it has really arresting melodic ideas. It's a crowd-pleasing piece. It really was. It went over fabulously well when we did it. And I recommend, if you don't know it, give it a listen. You're going to really be entranced by it. It's tremendous. Then there's the Bloch Concerto Symphonique. Now, this is a screaming masterpiece that virtually nobody knows, and we're still waiting for a truly great recording of it. There have only been a few, and most of them have been dreadful. Really amazing. I mean, there was a decent one on Laurel Records with a slightly overparted pianist. I mean, she was okay, but not, as flashy as the piece needs to be. There was the old one on Vanguard with Vladimir Goldschmidt, and who was it, Marjorie Mitchell or somebody was playing it. It had a cut in the finale, and the sound wasn't too great and all that stuff. Then there was the Hensler version with Jenny Lind, which could have been the great one, except the conductor took the finale too slow. It wasn't her fault. It was the conductor who was definitely on the soggy side. There was a dreadful one on Chandos with Valery Polyansky, I think, with that Russian State Symphonic Capella, whatever the heck it was. It was Amateur Hour goes to, on Chandos, which what a pity that was. And Biss was doing the Bloch orchestral works, like all of them, a series, and they haven't done this work yet. I don't know if they ever will now. That was the one I was waiting for. I thought finally someone's going to really nail it. It's a big 3-movement Frankian style symphony in cyclical form for piano and orchestra, and it is brilliant, and it's exciting, and it's really just one of Bloch's orchestral masterpieces. And we're waiting, hopefully. Gershwin, the Piano Concerto in F, of course. Another work that, because it's supposed to be like a pops work, it's terribly underrated. It's formally brilliant. The piano part is stunning. The orchestration's marvelous. It's the work of screaming genius. And again, its melodic content is just ravishing. I mean, you aren't going to find a piece that has better and more tunes. And they all come back in the finale, which is a rondo with episodes featuring music from previous movements. What really makes me crazy about that is that, the Bartók in his second piano concerto does exactly the same thing in his finale. He brings back in its episodes music from the previous movements, and when he does it, everyone calls him a genius. And when Gershwin does it, they call him formulaic. And that just isn't fair, because they are formally quite similar, and they work just as well, both of them. Speaking of which, the Bartók second piano concerto is definitely on my list, because it's just a stunner of a piece, with Bartók's usual attention to arch forms. The central movement is it's an adagio with a central scherzo with another adagio, and then you've got allegros on either side. It all has a beautiful sort of 5-movement. It does one of these things. It's incredibly interesting in terms of its orchestral layout. The opening movement is just piano and winds and brass, and the middle section is piano and strings, and then piano and winds, and then the whole orchestra comes together in the finale, and everybody goes nuts. It's not as popular as it used to be. I mean, I don't see people talk much about Bartók these days, to be honest with you. I think he's in sort of a waning phase of his career, however much respect he gets. And that's a terrible shame, because it's just incredible music, and I think it needs to be consistently placed before the public, both on disc and in performance. And second piano concerto is an awful good way to get started. Next, we're almost at the end. Martinu, Piano Concerto number 4, the Incantations, which he wrote for Rudolf Virchow. It's only in 2 movements. It's about the same length as the Ravel Concerto for the left hand. It has no detectable extended themes. It has ideas. It has textures and sounds, and they repeat. And you can hear, you recognize very clearly when they come back, because Martinu's handling of form is usually very simple and direct. It's usually just sort of, A, B, A, B is one of his typical first movements. And this piece sort of does that. But my goodness, the sounds that it makes, and the atmosphere that it conjures up, this hallucinatory phantasmagoria of piano and orchestral sonorities. Really astonishing, colorful, amazing piece of music. And it's very listenable. When I say something like, oh, it has no themes, people think, oh God, atonal, oh God, dissonance. No, that's not Martinu's style at all. It's all very enjoyable. It's harmonically approachable, interesting. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, facile, but it's euphonious. Every bit of it falls gratefully on the ear, but it sounds like nothing else. I mean, it does sound like some sort of spastic dream or something, and it's really, really cool. And if you don't know that one, you owe it to yourself to listen to it. And he wrote 5 piano concertos, plus a zillion other pieces with concertante piano parts, and they're marvelous, marvelous, marvelous works. So give that one a shot. Then let's see. Oh, the Tippett Piano Concerto. I adore this piano concerto, and I am very, very happy to see that it seems to be coming into its own. There have been, 3 or 4 noteworthy new recordings of it the past couple of decades, thank God. Emmanuel Axe always championed it. He hasn't recorded it yet, which is a shame. I saw him play it live. It was a very, very beautiful performance. It's a wonderful work. It's another one of those pieces that it doesn't sound like a piano concerto. It sounds like Tippett. In other words, it has so much so much music that is characterful of the composer, typical of the composer. It's a lyrical work like Beethoven's Fourth Piano Concerto. It has a lot of songful pianistic melody, but it's very contemporary. I mean, it's modern. It has some scrunchy dissonance and grindy contrapuntal writing in the middle movement, and the rhythms are quite awkward, and it has, and syncopated, and it has extended passages for piano and celesta and duet. And it's full of imagination, and that's what I really want in a concerto, a piano concerto, because there are so many of them, and so many of them are so formulaic. You want one that sounds like nothing else. And this is one that sounds like nothing else. And last but not least, really not least, Ginastera, Piano Concerto Number 1. Now, the last movement, the Toccata con Fuoco, was used by Emerson, Lake and Palmer, called Toccata con Fuoco. They played it straight in an electronic sort of synclavier or whatever it was, arrangement of it, with the composer's permission, I might add, who really was impressed by it. It's a stunner. It's a 12-tone work. But it just shows you how wonderful 12-tone music can be in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing with all 12 tones. It begins with this sort of mysterious variations without a theme. It's just texture and color and no melody and dissonant harmony and all that. But it's enchanting. It really is. Then there's a hallucinatory presto scherzo and a super cool slow movement. Then that final folk-like, barbaric, rhythmic, it's kind of like the finale of the Bartók, or the finale of the Barber Concerto, which isn't on the list, but very easily could have been. It's a wonderful work. So I adore that piece. And again, it's not a piece that's gotten a lot of great recordings. The best one is still not available. It was with Erich Leinsdorf and the Boston Symphony, and I forget who the pianist was. Was it Anthony Di Bonaventura or somebody like that? You keep telling me whenever I do it and I get it wrong. You guys correct me, but it's on RCA and it's Leinsdorf had it, and it was coupled with the symphonic variations. And there is no the concertante variations. That's what they're called, whatever. But in any case, the one on ASV was pretty terrific. That one was very good. Naxos has a couple of them. They're not terrible. They're not the best. And we need some great recordings of it. We really, really do, because it's one of the smashing masterpieces of 20th century piano concertitude. And with that, my friends, here's my list of 16. Let me see yours, because if it's as good as the other lists you've come up with, boy, I know I have a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. And so do other viewers / listeners who are going to have an amazing time going through these incredible works for piano and orchestra. Thanks to you. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.